It absolutely works, for one thing. I've never had any other modality work almost every single time.
It has helped people in a non-intrusive way enhance their quality of life.
I've worked with a lot of cases that have been these, where people have had very, very dramatic, life-changing results.
The AlphaSonic machine has been a successful tool in reducing acute inflammation. It's also been of a tremendous success in reducing chronic inflammatory processes.
So those will all be symmetrical.
Doctors and health practitioners are talking about an incredible development in pain relief. The AlphaSonic. It's a machine that generates infrasonic frequencies which facilitate the body's own natural healing ability.
The alpha frequency is the most optimal frequency to help the body to recover. That's why the sleeping frequency can be good for colds or flus. But if we can, in vibrational medicine, optimize that alpha frequency, then we're going to have a very good result as far as the recovery of the body.
Vibrational medicine is based on the theory that illness and disease are caused by blockages in the body's energy channels. The energy channels, or meridians, are associated with all of the body's vital organs. Together, they work to control physical and mental health.
The body resonates at a certain frequency. When the frequencies are interrupted or interfered with, what can happen oftentimes is it will interrupt the body's ability to heal itself. If we can restore that natural ability to want to heal the self, then we can optimize someone's recovery.
There's several theories behind why the sound waves work. The theory that I believe in the most strongly is that it does work as an acoustic acupuncture, using all the mechanics of how acupuncture works to relieve inflammation and pain. I also believe that the sound waves cause an increase in metabolism within the cells, and basically that results in an increased circulation within the tissues.
Studies show that the body heals itself while in a condition called alpha. While in a state of alpha, the body generates low-level sound frequencies and their healing effects.
The research has shown frequency in the hertz range from anywhere from 8 to 14, specifically 9, 10, 11, 12 is very good frequencies to help to restore and rebalance this pattern of healing.
The alpha condition occurs in the earliest stages of illness and injury recovery and continues throughout the healing cycle.
It helps increase the neurovascular, the lymphatics, definitely the connective tissue. It is phenomenal. And the results that I've seen with scar tissue have been amazing.
I had one patient who had seen maybe 20, 25 doctors for her chronic degenerative low back pain. Her prognosis was very guarded. She didn't want to have surgery for the degeneration of her vertebrae. The vertebrae were grinding on each other, and she was in a lot of agony. We administered treatment to her with the AlphaSonic machine only. She reported at the end of 2 sessions a reduction of 50% of her pain. I just saw her again last week, and she reported total resolution of the chronic back pain, which to her was an absolute miracle.
The AlphaSonic is credited with thousands of similar success stories, and while professional clinicians are adopting this technology into practice, anyone can use the AlphaSonic.
I have scoliosis of the spine, and so because of that my back is weak, and I run and I'm kind of hard on it, and so I will do things and it will create spasms and put my back out. And my back had just happened to gone out because of a lot of work I was doing, and I was walking as straight as a board. My neighbor, Keely Smith, has an AlphaSonic machine, so she said, you have to try this, you have to have her give you a treatment.
She was on Vioxx and Vicodin and different medications, and nothing was helping her. So I thought you might want to try something natural.
And I walked into Susan's house, and she did a treatment on me, and it lasted for probably 45 minutes. And when I left, it's like I was all excited because I was like doing jumping jacks out of her door.
The alpha wave frequency is what is said to be the same frequency that our bodies generate when we're recovering. Many times we go into this frequency during sleep cycles. That's why if a person's sick, go to bed, right? More sleep, the body helps to recover.
Haley's my daughter. She's 7, and I use the machine on her when she gets allergies. She gets a cough with her allergies at night sometimes, and so I use a machine to calm the cough.
I have an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old. These boys just came to know that if they had a problem, the first thing they would do is grab the machine and, put it on the problem. My one son, the little guy, had gotten his finger smashed in a treehouse door, and the first thing he did, he came to me crying from the neighbors, and he says, I need the machine. I want the machine on my hand. Well, of course we put that on there, and it was just like, I couldn't believe how quickly, the pain dissipated.
My husband has been through shoulder surgery and has been recuperating from that for the last 2 months.
I was up mountain biking with a friend of mine and came down a hill, ended up riding over a set of rocks, and one of them actually catapulted me into the air.
His shoulder was dislocated, his bones in his arm were broken, as was his shoulder blade.
As a pilot, we operate a large number of controls in the cockpit, and a lot of those controls are up on the ceiling. And since I sit on the right side of the cockpit, my left arm does all of this reaching and operating of controls.
It took surgeons 3.5 hours to repair Sid Smith's broken humerus and shoulder.
He used the machine right after he got out of surgery and has been using it ever since.
My orthopedic surgeon, he is involved in rehabilitating people that are into sports and lots of physical activities.
The doctors have said they can't believe how fast he's healing. His healing rate has just been so incredibly fast, and he's getting a lot more motion out of his shoulder than they had originally anticipated. They thought he was going to have a lot of stiffness and possible arthritis, they warned him.
Each time I went in to see him, I kind of got this feeling that he was amazed at what I was able to have accomplished in rehabilitation. He really hadn't given me a whole lot of chance of full recovery of the joint.
Just recently, my older son pulled his tendon pretty severely playing baseball. And as soon as he got home, he says, Mom, I want to put the machine on. I said, that's a good idea. And, also had him ice it as well. But, by the next day, we were really surprised because he obviously had, a potentially serious injury with his tendons.
Pain relief is achieved through increased circulation and decreased inflammation, which in turn open the body's energy channels. The low frequencies produced by the AlphaSonic relieve back pain, discomfort from arthritis, carpal tunnel syndrome, headaches, post-surgery pain, premenstrual cramps, tendinitis, muscle aches, sore joints, and many other common maladies. Amateur golfer Jeff Goldstein was diagnosed with a painful ganglionic cyst which inhibited his play and effectively ended his professional golf aspirations.
He complained that he had difficulty golfing, and golfing would exacerbate pain on a 1 to 10 scale in the area of 9 to 10, being excruciating.
He was adamant about finding an alternative healing method.
I'd like to avoid surgery if possible, and that's really one of the only ways to deal with it, either cutting it out or injecting it with cortisone, and I'm not really big fans of that.
It was kind of tingly on the left side.
And does that radiate down to your hand, through your fingertips? Okay.
For the purposes of this marketing video, Jeff agreed to be treated with the AlphaSonic. Now, prior to his treatment, however, our infrasound therapists had never treated a ganglionic cyst. They weren't sure what to expect.
And tell me if that sensation changes.
Treatment was administered for maybe 15 minutes with the AlphaSonic machine. Again, we noted objective data that changed during the thermograph study, as well as a post-examination showed objective and subjective. He could stabilize his wrist extensors when we pressed on them without pain. And this is the first time he's been able to do that.
And what it's doing is that the sound waves are traveling down the meridian And if that meridian has been blocked, then you'll feel that sensation of the tingling. And then once the meridian is open, that sensation will go away.
After the first treatment, I did notice probably 4 days after that the cyst had decreased significantly. It was pretty much the size of a grape, and now it's, I guess, the size of a raisin.
After 2 treatments with the AlphaSonic technology, Jeff Goldstein was healthy enough to resume tournament play, where he placed 50th in the Long Beach Invitational. Amazingly, he experienced no wrist pain during the 4-day tournament.
I would definitely say it had a large impact on decreasing the size of the cyst by using the AlphaSonic device.
The AlphaSonic is also used in veterinary applications.
I, of course, was very skeptical about it because the first thing I said is just what the equine industry needs is another black box.
Ron Riegel, doctor of veterinary medicine for 22 years and author of 2 of the industry's most esteemed volumes on equine anatomy, lameness, and common horse disorders. Dr. Riegel specializes in returning equine athletes to competition-level health. Here, he uses infrared thermography to detect soreness and inflammation in the horse.
Infrared thermography is a diagnostic tool that you can use to measure the efficacy of a treatment of a certain physical therapy modality.
The camera is able to detect the amount of heat displaced by the horse's tissues.
I scan the horse totally from head to toe, and I'm actually looking for differences in thermal grading or different colors on the screen that are asymmetrical and that indicate a pattern of inflammation or pain. I'm just palpating every one of his muscles here just to see if I find any spots of soreness.
Dr. Riegel incorporated infrasonic technology into his practice in 1996.
I have treatment protocols set up for all different kinds of injuries or basically physical therapy. I treat it as a physical therapy modality. I call it a complementary therapy to everything else that we're doing for the horse.
The first thing that I'm going to do with this horse is sweep over the body, where I'm holding the transducer about 4 to 6 inches away, and that allows the sound waves to cone out and expand.
If you're willing to spend the time to use this technology.
This technology literally infuses the body with alpha waves.
It absolutely works, and on all the modalities that I've used, including warm, moist heat, magnetics, the electromagnetics, I've used laser treatments, everything. I've never had anything work like the AlphaSonic unit, and that's basically why I recommend it. I go back to the statement, above all, do no harm. With acupuncture, you're using a tiny needle on a specific point of the horse, a specific area. The head on this unit is very large, and if you go over the entire horse, you're actually treating not only the deep tissue of the horse, but you're also treating all the acupuncture points of the horse.
And I had a number of show jumping horses that were athletes. And being athletes, their bodies were stressed, and they received a fair amount of regular medication in the way of anti-inflammatories, as well as muscle relaxants and things to increase the circulation. I started using it on the horses, and I found that their medication use went way down and their performance went way up. That was huge. Huge.
The goal of all physical therapy, no matter what modality you use, is to increase the circulation and increase the elasticity and flexibility of the tissues. The AlphaSonic unit absolutely, definitely increases the circulation in that area. It allows the body to increase the circulation in that area, therefore healing itself.
The building's brick walls held in the heat, turning the Escondido Humane Society's home into a gigantic oven.
The AlphaSonic played a critical role in saving the life of Heidi, a golden retriever mix.
There was a fire at the Escondido Humane Society animal shelter. And Heidi was a dog that was the most critically injured of all of the surviving animals.
Heidi and over 100 other animals were trapped inside the burning shelter, locked up in cages. Many animals perished while firefighters fought their way into the burning structure. As fire consumed the building, molten roofing materials dripped down onto Heidi's back and sides, leaving painful burns on 80% of her body.
I was called into the case about a week after she got to the hospital, and she had not been responding to any of the therapies or the treatments that were being given to her. And I was asked to bring the infrasound technology down to the hospital, which I did. Heidi had been unable to eat or lay down or sleep for about 7 days and was in a tremendous amount of pain. But the biggest thing is that she was having trouble resting and getting comfortable. Her skin appeared to be like ice-cold beef jerky where the burns were.
The effects of the infrasound therapy were immediate.
At the end of the first session, her skin, where it was cold and hard, the skin had started opening and there was a tremendous amount of warmth and you could feel the immediate increase in the circulation.
Come on, Heidi.
1 week after suffering critical burns which nearly claimed her life, Heidi was eating again and drinking water. Today, she lives a happy, healthy life with Susan and her 2 daughters. Remarkably, 1 year after the fire ravaged the dog's body.
She recovered beautifully. She gets treated about once a week. More hair continues to come in and she continues to progress.
Everybody wants to call these things alternative therapy. I think that's a bad phrase. It's alternative is a lousy phrase because it's alternative to what?
I bring it home from the office each night because I never know if a family member or a friend or somebody I meet might need it.
I would recommend the machine to basically anyone that I care about.
I had every intention of regaining full use of my shoulder joint. I attribute it to God and sure, I used the AlphaSonic from day one.
As a chiropractor, we're taught that the body wants to heal itself as long as the body's set up to heal itself.